Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the channel, like and subscribing, leaving your comments for the positive or negative. Much love and much respect and prayers to everybody out there. This here is live conversation number 210. Live conversations number 210. Where we're here talking about another so-called pastor, that was either arrested, convicted, or sentenced to prison. First and foremost, my disclaimer is I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I'm not any of those things. So please do not lay claim of those titles upon me. I thank everybody for coming on this live conversation upon this day, this evening. Hope everybody's doing great to this Tony Harvin YouTube channel. And do remember, I have a secondary YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. Tony Harvin Network. I mean, it's up to you. You feel like going to check out that secondary YouTube channel. You know what I mean? What else announcements that I have to make? I got to get the information that Gino is coming to Georgia. He's coming to Georgia also. You know what I mean? So we are talking about this so-called pastor, by the name of Donald Williams. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison. 45 years in prison. 45 years in prison. Mm, mm, mm. This is crazy, man. What up to Marva? What up to Gail Porter, Latanya, Stephanie Barnes, David Henry? What up? What up? Hope everybody's doing well. So the so-called preacher, he's out of Macon, Georgia, by the name of Darnell Williams, about 33 years of age. What he did, the event that led him to get 45 years in prison, and 20 years he has to serve in the local jail or whatever the case may be. So a judge, you know what I mean, said that Mr. Donald Williams, I guess according to evidence, was driving his car, one day, September the 3rd, 2021. Now this happened about a year and a half ago, September the 3rd. He approached a 14-year-old girl. 14. You understand? 14 years old. 30, listen, well, he was about 31 at the time. Still a grown man. 31, 32, whatever. You're still a grown man. And you approach a 14-year-old girl outside her school. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So, he lured the child into his car, forcing her to engage in sexual activity. So, you go around the school, you lure a girl in your car, a 14-year-old girl, you're a so-called pastor, just for some sexual activities. Now look, you got 45 years thrown at you in prison. You understand? So it says when Williams engaged with the 14-year-old as they was talking or conversating or whatever, he said claimed to be a pastor. You're right, claimed. So I guess he thought, him stating that he's a pastor is going to get him points with people, getting points with the ladies. A girl, a little girl, someone who could be his child, his niece. You know what I'm saying? So he offered the girl to give her a ride home. You know what I'm saying? So the girl got in. 14-year-old girl got in the grown man car. Where the parents at? Who raised her? Unless she was hot in the pants to get in a stranger's car. You understand that? Listen, I teach my daughters, do not talk to strangers. You feel me? And my advice to parents out there, if you got young kids and they got a phone, put a tracker on it. Put a tracker in their book bag without them even knowing. You understand that? For real. Listen, I got to know where you at all times. You ain't even gonna know you got a tracker on your sneaker. That's how strict of a parent I am. You understand that? I'm searching for some good trackers now. You know what I mean? So he gave her a ride home. So instead of taking the little girl home, according to the judge, excuse me, my fault, not the judge, my mistake, the attorney. All right, it says Williams drove to a dead end road and assaulted her. Mm, mm, mm. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Again and again, time and time, as we spoke about, and when I did the news broadcast and stuff like that, and ain't on the live. Here you have a grown man. Now you got some over righteous Christians that say, well, he could be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? He's not guilty till proven, he's innocent until proven guilty. Well, guess what? They had, excuse me, they had all the right evidence. They had all the right details. And guess what? He got convicted. Simple as that. They threw 45 years at him. They threw 45 years at him. 45. I'm 38. I ain't even touched 45 yet. It sucks to be him. You know what I'm saying? All right. What up to Ernest Beard, David Henry, Akbar Davis, Pamela Green, Bless. What up, Scooter Knox? Jackie McCall says, what's going on? Everything that's done in the dark shall come in the light. This is a warning to all believers. God is nothing to play with. His word is holy. Amen. What up, worshiper? What up, Craig? AKA Simply Behold. What up, Mr. X? Soraya Turner. What's up? What's up? Akbar Davis says, I raised 2 daughters myself, and thank God for giving me and my wife wisdom to raise our daughters right. What up, Dominic Alexandria? Arlene F. He says, lock him up. No excuse. He can repent behind bars. Yo, that's funny. What up, Faith, Joy, and Happiness? What up, what up, what up? Marva Crawford. They are going to put something in his... What up, what up, what up? You funny. What up, Chrissy Jackson? So let's get back to the story at hand. You know, as I was giving a little bit more information out, you know, about this so-called preacher. So-called preacher. You know what I mean? So he pled guilty. This so-called preacher pled guilty. So he knew what he did. He pled guilty to child molestation, sexual battery on a child under 16, and statutory rape. He was sentenced to 45 years with at least the first 20 in prison. 45 years. So the attorney said, one of the attorneys said, individuals who hold themselves out as being in a position of trust with children and then betray that trust must and will be held accountable for their actions toward the most vulnerable in our communities. Wow. Now that was a deep quote right there, because that attorney is on point with that one. For sure. How does a grown man have the urge? I don't get it. So he was at a Macon, Georgia. Macon, Georgia. And he was a registered sex offender. At that. Another one bites the dust. So you got a lot of these creeps out here, man. And another recommendation is, in your area that you're in, I believe it's this website where as though you can look at registered sex offenders in your area, in your community. You understand? Google that. Find out if the next door neighbor is a registered sex offender. Find out if the person up the block is a registered sex offender. You know, they could change their life around. Yeah. But I still would like to know if I have a registered sex offender in my area. You understand that? You know what I mean? So he said he preached at several churches in the central Georgia area. Several churches while being a registered sex offender. You know what I mean? So that kind of tells me he already had a hidden agenda. If he was if he was registered already, he was locked up before for something. And he still had that same urge within him to do something. Who's to say that when he got out the first time that he wasn't doing other things? It just so happened this time he got caught. This is crazy. You know what I mean? So he was added to the sex offenders list of registry back in August of 2010. He was accused of sexually assaulting or attempting to abuse a minor. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You understand? Definitely. All right, let's go to these comments. Latanya says parents should be teaching their teenagers not to get in the car with strangers. It is just common sense. Just like say no to drugs. Lynn says, hey, everybody. Pamela Green says they have a special cell for these types of offenders where they can't sleep all night. Sandra Williams says, what's going on? I'm good. Cornbread, he says, what's up? Keep exposing these false prophets. What up, what up, what up? Appreciate that. He said, this man is a dumb dog, as the scripture would say. For sure. Akbar says, just another predator, perverted man. Said how grown men can do that to a minor. Hope Ross says, we are living in the last days. There is nothing new under the sun. False prophets. Mr. C, that really sucks. The sickness is real. It says, what kind of laws do Macon, Georgia have? Well, personally, I don't know. I'm out in North Carolina, originally from New Jersey. You know what I mean? What was the guy from yesterday? I think he was from Alabama, whereas though they stated that they can't be around, children. I'm not sure if that same law applies in the state of Georgia. I would hope it do, for a person to be a registered sex offender, Salib says, oh no, the court should stone him to death because in the law of God, we said in the law of God gave Noah, he said man should pay at the hand of his brother. Okay. I mean, to each his own. For sure. Sandra Williams says, don't call him no preacher. That is too good for him. For him, call a spade is a dirty, low down dog. Well, that's understandable. But in order for people to be aware, to see what type of title he disguised himself as, I had to put the pastor. But when I started off this live broadcast, I said so-called pastor. You understand? So it's all about, what he called himself. He tricked his own self to thinking that he was something that he really wasn't. You understand? What up, Smash Mac? What up, what up, what up? It says, find out if you have church members as well. You're right. But that would be tough to find out. I believe that when you search for registered sex offenders, they only give you people that's in your area where you live. A radius is a certain amount of radius that they give you. Unless you're gonna go through the whole list of the city that you stay in. I think I did that one time before in Jersey City. You know what I'm saying? I looked at Jersey City, I looked at Bayonne, New Jersey, and the area I was at. And that offenders list, I knew I knew a couple of people from high school. I knew somebody who dated my aunt back in the day. I knew a family member. My uncle that married. It was her son. He was up there. And I think it was somebody from back in the day who I knew also up there. You know what I mean? His name was David Johnson from Jersey City. They used to call him David J. Holla. You know what I mean? He was a creep. I was young, but he was older. You know? So there was this female. I used to live on Orient Avenue in Jersey City. Orient Avenue in the hood, Jersey City. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Chris, who used to live over there too, next door. We used to DJ together back when we was young, teenagers. So my cousin had brought these two fools around us from Snyder High School. One name was Prince Hester, and another name was David Johnson. If you go on New Jersey, what is that? Department of Corrections, the website, offender search, you type in Prince Hester, you will see he's up there. I believe it was for manslaughter. You know what I mean? He copped a plea because he had murdered somebody, I believe, over a bag of weed or something like that. And he got manslaughter, so he got out in about 12 or 15 years. He's out now. So when he was younger, they brought him around, and David, I believe he was trying to mess with a little girl at one point, and the father whooped him something good one time. He listen, he beat the stuffing out this boy, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So years later, I believe it was a couple years ago, I ran into somebody I knew in Walmart in Bayonne. They told me he was locked up because he tried to offer one of the people that we hung out with, their kids, sexual talk or something like that. Here it is, you have a grown man, and I'm exposing him, David Johnson, from Jersey City, New Jersey. He's in hot out right now because he know. You understand? You know what I mean? He's in hot out right now. He ain't on the internet. You don't see him outside or nothing. But whenever I get a chance to expose him, I will. You can't be too careful. I believe the young female who let him around, she felt comfortable with him to watch her kid. I'm not going to put her name out, but I'm going to put his name out. David Johnson. He used to be on Virginia Avenue in Jersey City. I believe he went to Snyder High School. You understand that? Look him up. Creeps. But, you know, people make mistakes. You know, people gain trust for people. They gain trust for people. And he used to always hang around them. I done moved away to another block, and I stopped hanging with them. But he was around them. Unbelievable. It's hard to trust people, even family members, around your kids. I'm strict. I'm real strict. Who my kids hang around, especially my daughters. You want to listen? You want to see a madman? try something. You know what I mean? All right. Jackie McCall says these people have no morals, compass at all. There is no excuse. Mr. X says trying to hide behind the cross will get you exposed. Latoya says, Chef Bro Tony, you says hello, what up? Appreciate that. Pearly Heard said I hate sex offenders, Tony Harvin, because I was molested when I was 9 years old by my uncle. Wow. And there's a lot of situations out there like that, where as though you have family members who molested other family members. I think that'd be a good topic to talk about later on down the road. You know what I mean? And they try to hide it. Other family members may know about it or don't want to believe that young person. Or sometimes the young person is scared, you understand, to let an adult know that this person is molesting them. Or uncle, molest their niece, nephew, or father, molest his daughter, his niece, or grandfather. Or you know what I'm saying? It could be the woman molesting the guy, the boy. The aunt molest the nephew. The mother molest the son. It can happen like that. You understand? Listen, there's a lot of perverts out here. There's a lot of creeps. Be careful. You understand? Be careful. All right. Pamela Green says, we start teaching stranger danger at the kindergarten level. She must have been hard-headed too. Linda says, hey, everyone. How was he even able to become a pastor knowing he's a registered sex offender? Well, you can become a pastor easily. All you got to do is go to Google. Well, I'm talking about for the credentials, the paperwork and stuff like that. Go online, go to Google, get ordained online. Probably take you a couple of minutes. All you need is a few dollars. And that's it. They'll ordain you as a pastor right there, online. Bring it to some foolish church. Oh, wow, you a pastor? You know a couple of scriptures? Wow, you sent. You God called. Amen, brother. I like the way you're dressing. You carry your Bible every day. Meanwhile, he has a hidden agenda. He know what he's doing. That's why the attorney, when I read the statement about vulnerable communities, he knew. You understand? Khalid, appreciate that. What up, Khadijah Reeves? Shout out to you. Shout out to you and your YouTube channel. What up, Will? What up, what up, what up? Jeremy Dunbar, Kim, J. Beavis, Tasha. What is that? Shad Khan says they come off as being nice and trustful. Can't judge the book by its cover. Absolutely. Word. Pamela Green says this father in Texas beat this man to death over the same thing, then called the police on himself. They didn't do anything to the father. You know what I mean? Hey, you know? Latanya says in certain parts of North Carolina have a law where sex offenders are not allowed to be around children because their bracelet around their ankle can know their whereabouts and locations. Akbar David says a whole lot of sex offenders in dirty Jersey. For sure. Dominic Alexandria says, I dated a minister who later became a pastor and had a double life. He's dead now. God sees all. Wow. For sure. Cecilia Bryan says, these are some crazy times. I agree. What up, Prince Sean? What up? Hope all is well. What up, Gregory Morris? What up, Leon NC? What up? So this pastor from Macon, Georgia. Let me give a quick summary. So he was sentenced to 45 years in prison for sexually assaulting, statutory rape on a 14-year-old girl. As we stated, what business a 33-year-old man, 32, 31, however age he was at the time, what would make him, besides the devil, you understand that? They have an urge to assault a 14-year-old girl. Like we always stated, who's to say there are more victims out there? You understand? So back in April of 2010, he did the same thing. So this is not the first time he did it. In April of 2010, it says he offered a ride to a 16-year-old a few times, not one time, a few times, while he exposed himself. He exposed himself to a 16-year-old while asking her, do you want to ride with him? So at the time, 2010 was, he's 33 now, minus 13 off his age, so he's about 20 years of age. So a 20-year-old, he's still a grown man, still an adult, offered a ride to a 16-year-old while exposing himself. So he pleaded guilty to attempting to commit child molestation and public indecency. So shortly after, he was added to the Georgia Sex Offender Registry. It says under Georgia law. I know somebody brought this up, so it got the information right here. It says under Georgia law, sex offenders cannot work. Under Georgia law, sex offenders cannot work or volunteer at churches. It says, so between 2010 and 2021, Facebook posts and videos showed he preached at several Georgia churches. Now, I tried to view a video, I believe it was on Facebook upon him. It's taken down. It's taken down. They say he was a pastor at First Baptist Church in Jeffersonville for at least 2 years, starting in 2016. Then he preached at some Macon churches, either as a guest or staying for a short time. You know what I'm saying? So one of the churches, Greater Little Rock Baptist Church on Felton Avenue in Macon. Wow. They said they spoke to a lead pastor by the name of Paul Kelly at that church where he kind of preached at. Now, the lead pastor, Paul Kelly, said they didn't know he was a sex offender registry. Really? Really? You didn't do a background check on this fella? That goes to show that these false churches, they will let anybody in the pulpit. Anybody. That's crazy. All right. The lead pastor says he was a young, dynamic preacher, really, and a singer. They say he'd known him over 10 years. Really? Really? That's crazy, man. That's nuts right there, for sure. All right, let's get back to these comments. Embracing says, look at the Catholic. There are many that hid behind the name of the religion and continuously commit wicked acts. This is why you can't trust everyone with your children, not even the so-called religious. What up, what up, what up? What up, Embracing? Because at the time that we are living in, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get any better. We have to watch our children, what they see on the computer, what they do with their phones. Angel Quillen says, this is so pitiful. It takes the Lord to help every foul spirit to be delivered. Some are delivered right to hell. That's funny. He says, I don't trust my children to go to a church camp unless I'm there. Oh no. That ain't happening. No. You're right. You're right about that one, for sure. For sure. All right. What up, Sister Davis? What up, JC1? He says, yes, anyone can be a pastor in these days. He said, look at Peter Baptist. He said a tent pastor. He said Peter Baptist. Oh man, that's crazy. He said you could never be too busy to watch. He said you could never be too busy to be to watch to your children. It's the parents' responsibility. No excuse. Jackie McCall says, cool. Pamela Green. Oh my goodness, he's a habitual sex offender. They're going to toss. I ain't gonna read that. I ain't gonna read that one. I get the picture. I get the picture, Pamela Green. You know, those people in prison, they don't like sex offenders in general, especially when you try to dress it up, stating that you're a pastor and a preacher of some church or churches, you know. All right. James Johnson says, "Hey Tony, it's crazy time. He says, as it was in the beginning, it's now and ever shall be. As Christ likes focus on the light of Christ, so do the dwellers of low frequency vibes carry out the filth of the what is that? I don't know that word. Sophisticated thought says peace and love. Mr. X says Baptist church sounds about right. They are with that. Oh man, that's funny right there. That is funny. Sister Davis says they really need to screen these people. We have much to pray for. Absolutely. What up, Renee Johnson? Cecilia Bryan says the devil comes in sheep clothing. Absolutely. You're right. This pastor has a demonic spirit, Latanya says, and they didn't check his background. These false pastors are just as guilty as this Pastor Donald. What up, Maddie? What up, what up, what up? Mr. X says, if it ain't true holiness, it ain't right. Wonderful. Absolutely. Absolutely. What up, Lady Divine? Mr. McCall says, I tell my sons all the time to watch my grandchildren and pay attention to what they're doing on those computers and on those telephones. They should be able to come to tell you everything. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. You know what I mean? Definitely agree. As parents, monitor your children, phones, tablets. I believe is a way where as though you could view the phone or a tablet from your phone or from your tablet. You understand? I believe it's a way you can do that. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see if any comments that I missed. What up, Rudy? Hope all is well. I definitely hope all is well with you. Prince Sean says, man, 45 years is a long time. Absolutely. 45 years in prison. You cooped up in a tight cell behind bars for 45 years. What do they wash up around, 2 or 3 times a week? Eat nasty food. You know what I'm saying? Be told what to do, when to sleep, what time to get up, what time to do this and that, a certain amount of time to use the phone. Listen, I like to go outside and get me a meal from Red Lobster or something. I like that. That I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. You know what I mean? All right. Chrissy Jackson says, my old pastor did this. What's your pastor name? What is your old pastor name? All right. Pamela Green says, but some parents use these tablets as babysitters. Okay. James Johnson says the word. Okay, you said the devil. Got you. Kevin Everett says, blessings. What up? Holiness is on the way. TV. Greetings. Says, is he innocent or guilty? Well, I think you came in around this time. You probably missed the beginning. He pled guilty. And they threw 45 years at him. So he pled guilty. He pled guilty. You know what I mean? I guess he thought he was gonna get off. They was gonna offer him a plea deal and stuff like that. No, they didn't. You know what I mean? Hope Ross says, where are you? Where the parents in all of this? Well, it doesn't say. It doesn't say in the stories, listed online. All right. But telling you funny. Linda says predators are so subtle in knowing how to pick their victims. Sometimes parents really don't know until the damage been done. Once again, to all who fell victims to these low-life creeps. Absolutely. K. Henry says 45 years too easy. So what do you suggest at K. Henry? You suggest life? What do you suggest? The death penalty by lethal injection?
electric overseas, they'll shoot you. Listen, they'll tie you up to a pole or something. They have a firing squad, 10 to 15 guys with rifles, AKs, Glocks, shotguns. They'll tie you right up and let you have it. All right. Mr. X says, look, if he was innocent, the Lord would have delivered him. You're right. You're right. You're right. I have never read a story upon a false prophet who was involved with something dealing with a child that it was innocent. Never. Never. Usually in situations like this, they have all the evidence already. It's already there. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with a sexual assault on a child charge, evidence is going to be gathered on you. It has to be strong evidence, especially if a guy is already a registered sex offender. You understand? Even if he didn't do it, even if he didn't physically do it to that child or whatever the case may be, he still committed the crime because under the Georgia law, he couldn't be around churches at all. He couldn't have a job around children. So his best bet is, I guess, to either work construction overnight, truck drive overnight. I don't even think he could work at Amazon. So when you register as a sex offender, it's going to be really hard for you to find employment because you got to understand, children are everywhere. But unless you're working overnight as a construction worker, you know what I mean, on the highways and on them big buildings and whatnot, it's tough to find a job like that. But he knew better. So he still would have been arrested for that part of violating that law. You understand? All right. Okay. What up, Carla Petty? What up? Embracing says, if this is twice, he should have to do his time and have to wear a tracking device the rest of his life. Good one. Sister David says, the child is the victim, innocent children that have their trust betrayed by sick predators. You reap what you sow, good and evil. Rudy says, does he still have a chance for forgiveness? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk against the scriptures. I can't do that. You know, if the man has a forgiving heart, right? But he could seek forgiveness from God and stuff like that. But that's not going to work in the courtroom at the end of the day. They still won't give him 45 years. It doesn't matter. He could ask for forgiveness from now until he die from God. If he really mean it in his heart and really want to change throughout the years and whatnot, that's not going to make a difference on the choice that the judge made of giving him 45 years. I ain't going to do nothing. A lot of these judges ain't saved and stuff like that. So they ain't going to care. Yeah, you can be forgiven, but guess what? That judge don't care. That prosecutor don't care. You know? And the whole team and his parents, the parents of the young child and the young children that he assaulted back in 2010 and now, they may forgive him. Yeah, you know, they may forgive him. Other people may forgive him, but guess what? He's still going to do his 45 years. He's still going to go to prison and whatnot. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's not going to work. That's not going to work on trying to get out of prison. You know what I mean? All right. Latanya says 45 years is a long term. You're right. K. Henry says, give him life. Remember, he knows what he was doing and called himself a man of God. Okay, you're right. I agree. For sure. Mine says, hello, Brother Harvin. Hope all is well. This is stuff that is happening a lot more than we know. I always say leaders of the church know more than us who are. Some are hush hush for the wrong reasons. Absolutely, I agree. Mr. X says tracking device. Yeah, okay. He will have to do the first, the 45 first. Oh man, that's funny. Lady Devon says we have to monitor all of our children. We have to remember that people are drawn away by their lust. Absolutely, for sure. You know, you're absolutely right about that. So we touched on this so-called preacher, so-called pastor, Donald Williams, so-called preacher out of Macon, Georgia. You know, he was sentenced to 45 years in prison. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody for tuning in to this live conversations 210. You know, so if you know a preacher, if you hear a story that a preacher been arrested, convicted, or sentenced to prison, let me know. We're definitely going to expose them right here on this YouTube channel. You know what I mean? We're going to conclude this live conversation. So if anybody got any closing remarks, feel free to say before we close it out. Life with Paulette. He says, hello, everyone. What up? Jackie McCall says 45 years is nothing compared to the effect of that child for the rest of their life. You're right about that. I definitely agree with that one right there. For sure. You know what I mean? Definitely on point with that. All right. Dominique says, pray for the victims. Rudy says, I appreciate you, sir. For sure. All right. I hope everybody have a wonderful night, a wonderful evening. You know, we got more videos coming up. Leon says, what up, Spears? What up? Leon says, when is the next biblical discussion? We're trying to set that up right now. We're trying to set that discussion up right now. It's a good topic. Definitely a good topic. Prince Sean says, you going live later? Nope. I gotta get up in the morning for work around 3 a.m. I gotta be in bed early. You understand? So we're trying to set up a biblical discussion coming up, a good topic, a real good topic. You know? So I don't know the exact date, the exact time yet, but we're definitely going to have a biblical discussion or biblical discussions this week. So tune in, lock in, tune in. It's a good topic that's coming up soon. All right, I'm Tony Harvin. This is my primary YouTube channel, Tony Harvin. My secondary YouTube channel is Tony Harvin Network. I'm on Facebook, Tony Fast Hands Harvin, same as Instagram. Broadcasting videos on dailymotion.com, rumble.com, and some on Twitter and stuff like that. So thank everybody for tuning in once again. Good night, and God bless. Peace.